When the RMS Titanic struck the iceberg on the night of April 14, 1912, the disaster did not happen instantly. There was no massive explosion, no sudden sinking, and no immediate panic. In fact, the ship remained afloat for nearly 2 hours and 40 minutes, a period that could have allowed many more lives to be saved. The greatest mistake after the collision was not the iceberg itself, but the delay in recognizing the true danger and the slow emergency response that followed. At 11:40 p.m., the iceberg was spotted directly ahead. Officers reacted quickly by ordering a turn and reversing the engines. The ship avoided a direct head-on collision, but the iceberg scraped along the starboard side, damaging several compartments below the waterline. Too many passengers. The impact felt minor. Some noticed a slight vibration, while others felt nothing at all. Because there was no visible damage on deck and no dramatic scene, most people believed the ship was still completely safe. Below the surface, however, the situation was critical. Water was rapidly flooding multiple watertight compartments. Within minutes, the ship's engineers inspected the damage and informed Captain Edward Smith that the ship would sink. Despite this realization, the response did not immediately reflect the urgency of the situation. Instead of a rapid evacuation, preparations began slowly. Passengers were asked to put on life jackets and come to the deck, but they were not clearly told how serious the danger really was. The environment on board continued to create a false sense of security. The lights remained on, the band continued playing, and the ship still appeared stable. Many passengers were confused about why they were being asked to leave their cabins and stand outside in the freezing night air. Officers and crew were hesitant to create panic, but this caution cost valuable time. Nearly 30 to 40 minutes passed before lifeboats began launching with real urgency. Even when the lifeboats were lowered, another major mistake occurred. Many were sent away half-empty. Boats designed to carry around 60 people, sometimes left with only 20 or 30 passengers, were reluctant to board because the ship did not appear to be in immediate danger. Some believed the evacuation was only a temporary precaution and that they would return to the ship later. This hesitation significantly reduced the number of people who could be saved. Crew preparedness also affected the evacuation. Emergency procedures had not been fully practiced, and many crew members were unsure of their specific responsibilities. The order of women and children first was applied differently on each side of the ship. On one side, men were allowed to board if seats were available, while on the other side, men were strictly prevented from entering even when spaces remained empty. This inconsistency caused confusion and slowed the evacuation process. Meanwhile, time was running out. The bow of the ship was gradually sinking deeper into the water, and the tilt of the decks became more noticeable with each passing minute. Water continued spreading from compartment to compartment. Engineers worked tirelessly below deck to keep the lights on and the pumps operating, knowing that every extra minute could mean more lives saved. One of the most tragic facts is that help was relatively nearby. The SS Californian was within visual range, but did not respond because its wireless operator had shut down for the night and missed the distress calls. Instead, the rescue ship RMS Carpathia received the signals from more than 50 miles away and immediately began racing through dangerous ice fields toward Titanic, though it would take several hours to arrive. After midnight, the seriousness of the situation became clear to everyone on board. The forward decks were underwater, and panic slowly began to replace disbelief. Lifeboats were now launched more quickly, but the early opportunity to fill them properly had already been lost. By around 2 a.m., the ship's angle became dangerously steep. Passengers struggled to stand as the stern rose high into the air. Lights began to fail, and the remaining people moved toward the back of the ship, hoping to stay above the freezing water for as long as possible. At 2:20 a.m., the Titanic finally broke apart and disappeared beneath the North Atlantic. More than 1,500 people lost their lives. When the Carpathia arrived, hours later, it found lifeboats scattered across the dark ocean and survivors suffering from shock and severe cold. The tragedy shocked the world, and later investigations revealed an important truth. The disaster was not caused only by the collision. The Titanic had enough time to organize a faster evacuation, enough time to fill every lifeboat, and enough time to clearly communicate the real danger to passengers. But hesitation, disbelief, poor coordination, and lack of urgency turned those valuable minutes into lost opportunities. The sinking of the Titanic led to major changes in maritime safety. Ships were required to carry enough lifeboats for everyone on board. Continuous radio watch became mandatory, and proper emergency training and drills became standard practice. These reforms have saved countless lives over the past century. The story of Titanic remains powerful because it is not just about a ship striking an iceberg. It is about how decisions are made during a crisis. The ship did not sink instantly. It gave time. But in disasters, time only saves lives when it is used quickly and wisely. On that cold April night in April 1912, the delay in action turned a serious accident into one of the deadliest maritime tragedies in history.